There's an incredibly sad story of a gentleman called Clive Wearing. And Clive is a famous individual in the neuroscience world. And Clive was the man who the movie Memento was based on, which is a movie where a man has brain damage and he has profound amnesia. And from that moment forward, he can never make any new memories whatsoever. He's densely amnesic. And he was a real life individual. He contracted a virus that destroyed his memory centers. And from that point forward, he could no longer make any new memories. And he lived in just 2 or 3 seconds of time. And that spotlight of consciousness just moved forward in time. He had no recollection of the past. He had no anticipation of the future. And the only person that he remembered and he would recognize is his wife. So he could have spent this whole 3 hours speaking to you. And then you would walk out the room for 5 minutes and you would walk back in and you'd say, "Hi, Clive, nice to meet you." And he'd say, "Hi, what's your name?" Had no recollection. The only person that he remembered was his wife. But the problem was he never remembered how long it's been since he last saw his wife. And so every time that she would walk into the room after being out of it for 5 minutes, he would jump out of his chair and he had this incredible elation. And he would run and he would hug her and kiss her. And I think sometimes we take our partners for granted. And the only time we realize how precious they are is when they're gone. And I often think about that complacency can be one of the greatest negative forces in a relationship. And I always think about Clive Wearing, even on the days where I'm having a bad day or I'm in a bad mood and I'm not myself or I just don't want to be around someone, I always try to remember his reaction. And when my wife walks back in from work or I see her, first thing, I try to remember how his reaction was and how I truly feel at the time, despite the blanket of negative stress, trying to drown that feeling out.
It's a beautiful thing. I think about that a lot as well.
In what way?
Just the part of, I'm way more cognizant now on a frequent basis, almost on a weekly basis, of how I'm going to feel when my time is up as it relates to my romantic relationship. Like, I think even like mid-argument, I will now think, and then this actually happened like a couple of days ago, it wasn't really an argument, we were just disagreeing about something. I literally said mid dispute that we were having, I said, "We're going to regret this so much." And what I meant was, when that phone call rings and someone gives me bad news that either I'm going or you're going, I'm going to regret that this 30 minutes was wasted doing this.
Yeah.
I'm really going to regret it.